Okay. So I guess it's going now. It looks like there's more in there.
No, it's still the same.
Okay. Well, I'm not stressing it. Andre said that the recycling bin is back.
Yeah, it is. It's all the way over there by the...
Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
But no, Marcaine put that one over there.
Yeah, but there's another one.
Oh, well, maybe the person who borrowed it and with their bounty of my belongings brought it back. See, my son took that foamy stuff to cover up the dirt. He doesn't realize what he's doing, but whatever, he'll figure it out when it starts to get warm and things start to grow and turns out to be one big fucking dust bucket. But c'est la vie, $5,500 worth of crap, right? One man's junk is another man's treasure. If they want to throw out their treasure, go ahead. But I'm sure they're not going to throw out everything. God forbid. They'd be foolish if they did. And of course it's a Punjabi with a orange turban on. Why are we not surprised? With a white beard yet, of all things. Is that my landlord's son? Is that my landlord's son? Does he have a white beard? I think he does. Oh my God. Okay, don't poke the bear, right, people? No poking the bear, eh? Okay, so I'm going to end this video. Maybe I should put this first. So the bin is gone now. My landlord and my landlady came by. They insisted that they had nothing to do with this. It all was to do with the city. The city was saying that she should kick me out because of the yard. We know my stance on that, people. Extreme yard maintenance for years. It was not routine yard maintenance. Things got built over the years to cover up landfill, yada yada, sand, gravel, whatever. Now, you know, and she said, she said that it was all my fault. And I'm like, well, hold on a minute. The city did not provide any annual spring cleanup like Delta, Langley, White Rock, nothing. I reminded her that I never had no help in the yard with anything. I reminded her that I went completely, practically blind in the last 2 years to where I can't even see the blueberries. I reminded her that my son, when he moved in, you know, Marina, a lot of stuff went out. And then again, right? And then he fixed her porch, whatever. That stuff should have been removed a long time ago, but it didn't happen. And it became a heat score. And then it was the excuse to build a case to get me evicted so that they could capitalize on this house, break it up into 2 separate suites to get maximum dollar at $5,500 a month. And that's just a fact. We already have established that landlords are taking advantage of the economy where they can do that by simply evicting people, so they become serial, habitual evictors, where they try and evict you, it doesn't work, then they back off, and then they come back and they try and evict you again, that doesn't work, and then they back off, until finally they find a way to evict you so that they can raise the rent by almost triple. To which, if the city is looking to house immigrants with the kickbacks from the province, then yeah, they're going to help with that process, where nobody wants to take any responsibility as they lay full blame on me. Where was my help in 14 years? There was none. You go through my videos, as they're going to end up in the playlist, I was always outside working by myself. right? Lost opportunity with working on the nonprofit. Lost opportunity with working on my outfits. Lost opportunity in a lot of ways. Not to mention having my stuff get ruined for one reason or another, or end up like what just happened. Right? Anyway, I spoke to Mr. Gill, and he insisted that it all had to do with the city. They were threatening to charge them $20,000, and that to come in and do what my son did. Where my son is only charging, in his mind, $3,000 in labor to do what he did, where the city would have charged $20,000. But because it's not pristine and looking perfect yet, my landlady is unsatisfied and still wants more planter pots gone, because in her mind, the city said so, and she thinks it doesn't look good. And I'm like, well, it is, wintertime, Mrs. Gill. Like, they do grow flowers. Well, my landlord is telling me, Mr. Gill, to plant flowers, even though a whole bunch of flowers got killed off. I'm just saying.
There you go, Peter Martin. Oh, does this feel good?
That's a little gummy. No, that's too gummy. It's too gummy. You're going to add some more whipping cream into it and a bit of sugar. It's too gummy, I'm telling you.
Sugar? Why sugar?
To make it sweet, it has no flavor. Or give him some maple syrup. There you go. Put in maple syrup. Instead of whipping cream, try some maple syrup.
Where's maple syrup?
It's on the side door. Like, I'm literally fucking shaking again, people. Like, because, okay, so, and I'm like, well, I spoke to the city guy. He said half the planter pots. I said more than half are gone now. Right? And she's like, no. And I'm like, oh my God. Like, just, wait for the weather to get a little better. And, like, okay. And then I asked her about that bin. Right? And she said it wasn't free. That's not what she told me before she brought it. I guess she got it wrong. Apparently, it wasn't free, and the bill that they did get for the first load,
Got maple syrup.
stirred around real good after you pour some in, and if need be, a little extra whipping cream.
Blending it.
Huh?
I'm blending it.
Okay, do that. Oh my God, people, you don't even know how I feel right now. Like, I just can't stand this. I let them know that this has been really freaking hard on me. And that my heart is so broken. Like, you don't even know, people. Like this is torture. Like, literally fucking torture, because I know the bigger scheme that's going on out here, okay? Anyway, and I'm having nightmares with Amari going missing. With everybody mum on it. Don't know where he is. He could be under a tree. He could be under a bush. He could be hidden behind a planter pot in a field of planter pots. There was nothing growing in the planter pots.
Feel better?
Some more whipping cream. It's still too thick. He'll choke on it. And you have to grind it more because it's kind of gritty. He doesn't like gritty food. He'll choke on it. I'm telling you. Just keep blending it. Take out some, add a bit more whipping cream, and just blend and blend and blend and blend. Because that's the texture of rice. And if you give it to him rice like that, he'll choke. Yeah, is he hidden behind empty planter pots that are all in a row in a big open field? Because I was looking for him. Was he in the field? What was that? With the planter pots? Was he where the trees were? Right? Was he with the bushes? Like, where was he? Somebody took him. He just didn't disappear on his own. Anyway, she's saying that the city guy is saying, kick her out. She's a problematic tenant. Still laying all the blame on me. Even though we got a shed in the back that I spent over $1,000 on that doesn't leak. Right? It still remains as to how that rat got in there.
Yeah. Skeleton.
Yeah. Andre Marcaine said he's seen a hole. Well, that, whatever, we can fix that. The point is it was leak proof since 2017. That's amazing.
A lot of times Jimmy went on top of the roof of it.
Okay, and then we've got another one that's leak proof. We got a lot of shelter now, right?
That's about the way.
We have walkways.
I have to wait 5 minutes actually.
But of course, everything looks gray right now. So, she's still not happy. She's mad at me. For what? For what? You know, I said, like, you know, that stuff that was in the back, because my son was throwing out stuff. He moved in that girl. You know that, Mrs. Gill. Oh, we'll come in and look. I said, look? You don't need to look. There's nothing to look at. He threw it out. Remember? It was all out there on the grass. How many years ago? 2.5 years ago or whatever the hell it was. When she wanted the kitchen and they took over the kitchen in the living room. Right? And then they went in for, after that, a year went by, and then they wanted to take over the spot where I had that food storage area. And that's how some desks and stuff went out there. And he threw out the piano, and he took apart the piano. That ended up out there. And then he fixed her porch, people. That's how those big-ass waterlogged frozen beams ended up out there, because he actually fixed her porch so it wouldn't cave in at the end of the porch. And she wants to go now, right? Because, you know, she doesn't want me here. She wants the money. So, okay. Because I don't feel like she's in alliance with me, people. I just don't. All right. So she's unhappy with what's still the remaining. I said, well, you know, like, let Marcaine work that out with the city guy. Since she's putting the full blame on the city. And then after that happens, I said, you know, just give it a little time, right? And then when the weather warms up, you can, I guess, give me direction. You don't want that? Well, fine, whatever. My son will get rid of it, I suppose, in terms of a planter pot. Because it doesn't look good in her mind, because nothing's growing in it right now. Or whatever. I don't know, people. Okay. And then I went to the car because she said that the bin cost $1,100, but they got a $300 discount because they've dealt with this quote-unquote company before, I suppose. All right, so what is that? $800? $400? $700? $700? No. 11 minus 3. Can't even think. 7, 8, 9, 10. So $800. So right now, we owe $800. I owe $800 for this bin. Because I asked her, because it was supposed to, she told me it was supposed to be free. And that we were only paying, because Marcaine was going to bring his own bin. And he had a fixed rate, da-da-da-da. I told her, I said, well, before you get it, let me talk to Mrs. Gill, because maybe she has somebody that's, you know, more reasonable, right? So I talked to her on the phone, and she said, oh, yeah, no, don't get your son. I'll do it, because my guys will bring the bin for free, and then you just pay for the weight to dispose of it. Okay, my son jumped on it. He felt that was the better deal. Well, little did we know that we had to all of a sudden, out of the blue, gut everything. All right. He worked like the Hulk, people, in extreme weather, doing extreme yard maintenance that could have been prevented. I've already said it. Whether through annual spring cleanup with the city, where it's actually effective, not just a little pile of wood on the curb once or twice a year, in terms of a little pile of wood with one other item, right? Whatever they had last year in terms of annual spring cleanup, where you could load up something like wood, that kind of stuff, that lot that went out, and then drop it off at a depot at no cost to you, that doesn't happen until May, because it happened last year in May. But nobody gave me the opportunity to do that, because that's not what it was about. It's about building a case to kick me out so that they can get $5,500 for this house with kickbacks. I do believe that, people. So whatever money that I just spent, which you'll see after this in terms of buying peas for my grandkids, and if the economy should get really, really bad and my son is struggling financially, at least he's got good peas to eat, to sustain his strength, to be able to do whatever he's doing, or whatever. Like, for what? For what? Right? Like I said, this Acorn people said, these landlords are looking at any means of ways to evict old tenants. My landlady said, oh, I tell the city, oh, I can't evict her. He's telling me to evict you. Well, who is this dude? Literally. You let me keep the wood, you let me keep this, you let me keep this all these years to build, lay down the walkways, do whatever, you right? And now that that stuff is done, you don't need me anymore because I can't see anymore. The basics are done, and you know you can almost triple the rent and get new people to come in and pick up where I left off, right? With no questions asked, you know, right? They're not gonna, whatever, as long as you can get rid of me and my family, which is already half dead. Which is already half dead. Because of the trauma that's resulted. I said to my landlord, you know, this country's no good. You know, like, this is, like, it's hard on, like, you know, he's been saying, don't worry. I'm like, don't worry. How can I not worry? Look what's going on in this country. Oh, it's still one of the better countries, you know. And I said, yeah, you sound like my son. But he's not facing eviction. He's not facing gang stalking. He's not facing, you know, I mean, she's still telling me to sell my shit. Why? Today. Because I told her, I'm out like $5,000. Oh, just sell your stuff. I don't know if she heard me or not, or if she doesn't care, or she doesn't want to acknowledge my suffering and what I'm facing. Either or, let's get back to this bin. So now she's saying, no, the bin wasn't free, but that's why we chose to go with her, because she said it was free and they were just going to pay by weight, charge by weight, which is not true. So now we got the first bill for $1,100, all right, with $300 off, so it's an $800 bill. We just had this other one disappear, which is full of a lot of non-profit stuff that wasn't rated or was rated. Did you bring in those bins?
No.
Okay, as soon as you're done feeding him, bring them in.
Yeah, but it should be good now.
Huh?
But it should be good now. I accidentally blew the motor on it.
You have to take some out. It's too heavy. The problem with oatmeal is it keeps swelling. So take a couple tablespoons out and add a little bit more cream in it. It's not going to hurt them. And then give it a good blend, like a really good blend, and then take it out and then add the rest in and add more cream and blend it. You have to, it's too heavy. I think that machine is losing its motor as well. Yeah. So, okay, and put some water on for me for another coffee, please. So, okay, so she got her information wrong. Fair enough, it happens. So now the bill, as far as I know, for the first was $800. This one should not be as heavy, but who knows? Because it's a lot of non-profit stuff, but that's not to say that there isn't wood in there, because there is. Yada yada. So I guess we're looking at about a $1,600 to $2,000 bill, because she mentioned $2,000. I said, well, when you get the bill, just make sure I get a copy of it. All right? And I asked her, because she told me she'd pay a third, I pay a third, and Marcane pay a third before she brought it here. And it was only supposed to be here for 3 days. And then all of a sudden the script changed. All of a sudden the script changed to where you have to get rid of everything now. Everything. Without being specific about what everything was outside of every planter pot. Okay, now you're getting into a zone that's better.
Get her down.
Yeah, that he can tolerate. So do it one more time just to be double sure. And you might want to test it with yourself, with your fingers, so you get an idea of how smooth it is. The other one was more like a rice that hadn't been cooked twice, which he would have gagged on immediately.
The motor blew again.
Well, it's that because it's heavy. That's why oatmeal is heavy. So just
Well, I'm getting warm a bit though.
take the thing off and just let it cool. Blend it one more time, and it should be good. And add, okay. So anyway, I'm looking at $1,600 to $2,000 for this bin disposal. As I'm being told, it's not enough. More planter pots have to be gone because my landlady doesn't like the way they look, period. I guess she doesn't care how they look in the summertime, and I guess she doesn't care how they look in the wintertime. She said, forget about the pond. Don't, just cover it up. Exactly. So you can kiss that goodbye. I told her there's sand in there. There's 4 feet worth of sand in there. Have videos on that for the pond. But my son wants to put a walkway on the side of the house because it's so muddy. And if you're laying down bricks or slabs or whatever, you need the sand as well as the gravel rocks to flatten everything out so that it doesn't move, right? Whether she acknowledges that, understands that, I don't know. I just told her, like, yeah, okay, fine, no problem. Like, let's get the sand out first, and then so be it. Any pond material I have, I'll just sell it. Assuming that I get a chance, people. Like, I'm serious. Like, this is just off the hook for me. And when I asked her, I went to the window, right, to her car, and it's about the bin, and because, she's changing what she told me from the beginning to what she's telling me now, blaming the city for everything, but yet saying, get rid of that. And I'm saying, yeah, but the guy said half of the planter pots, more than half are gone. Yes, there's still some with rocks, and I'll go out there within the next week or two and, do like whatever, right? Okay? Like, fuck, man. Like, this is stupid. Like, this is no way to live. And I don't know how my landlord could possibly say this is better than any other place in the world. Like, maybe for him it is because he lives in a nice house with a gazebo and everything, and he doesn't have to worry about anything. But when you're someone in my position, it's not that cut and dry. Like, I'm in the new Congo as far as I'm concerned, just waiting for the fucking gorillas to come in and attack me and my family again. Like, that's just the way it is, people. Right? All right. So I asked her, I said, you know, okay, fine, you make sure you give me the receipt. You pay a third, Marcaine pay a third, I pay a third, right, Mrs. Gill? Oh, I don't know about that. That's what she said to me. I don't know about that. And she rolled up the window and ignored me and drove off. Oh my God. And then you wonder why I say the things I fucking say. I told her, like, I have never been so heartbroken in all my life. Like, this is like it's just like, oh, well, you. No, it's not about me. It's the fact that I didn't have no help, people. No matter what she says, however she tries to convince herself, I have the video proof that I was the only one out in the yard doing anything for her. I'm the one that gave up my life for her and her yard. I'm the one that went blind for her and her yard. I'm the one that's facing homelessness and losing everything, as she's telling me to sell it before I lose it, even though whatever I sell will be useless because it's going to go to pay for something else that won't benefit me in the great grand scheme of nothing. Well, my landlord is saying, oh no, this is a good country to live in. Yeah, okay. I don't understand. I just don't fucking get it, people. I'm sorry, boo-boo, get it. So she doesn't want to pay even a third. She wants me to pay for everything. So what you seen me buy, I walked you through it. I think I made a wise choice on the things that I purchased and how I purchased them and why I purchased them. Okay? And if I have to, I'll borrow $2,000, $1,600, because I'm going to get it from my son. Why should I have to pay? It was your problem. You're the one that brought the mess. You're the one that brought the trouble. You're the one that made me have to work like a dog out there. If it wasn't for you, if you would have listened to me, whatever it was that he wanted me to listen to, because he wasn't out there helping me, so it's not like he was saying too much. I wasn't up to living with a bunch of landfill, raccoon shit, weeds and mud, sand and gravel, cat shit, and more weeds. Nobody helped me with that. They left me. I did what I thought I could do, and I did it. And when they put this house up for sale, that's the first thing that they add on as amenities. Sheds, walkways, green garden, greenhouse, fucking garden beds. Yeah, I wonder why. So I guess I'm going to have to borrow up to $2,000 on my credit card. I don't think she'll take it in $100 payments. She won't be satisfied with that, people. She's not even satisfied with what's happened in the yard. And she's still blaming me for it. She said she sent a guy to help Marcaine. Yeah, on the last day. In nice warm weather when everything was practically gone. And don't get me wrong, I appreciate the sentiment. I'm sure my son appreciated the help for a few hours or however. He wasn't out there very long. He didn't do very much. I heard him tell Marcaine that he didn't want to pick up something because it was heavy. He goes, oh, this is too heavy. And that's all they had my son out there doing, was lifting heavy shit. And she still wants him out there busting up planter pots that got flower bulbs in it, as my landlord is telling me to plant flowers. She's telling me to kill the flowers, get rid of the flowers, and he's telling me to plant flowers. As flowers have already been dug up and thrown out, or emptied out of flower pots. If that's not a living nightmare, I don't know what is. So I'm still in fear, right? Waiting for the next attack. Don't know where it's coming from. Having nightmares, right? Trying to bring my budget down to a bare bone budget so I can pay the rent, pay the hydros, pay down the bills, credit cards, whatever. And I don't know. Doesn't matter. Because I don't pay $5,500 a month. I don't pay $4,500 a month on the cheap. But they're not gonna, if they get rid of me, they're not gonna settle for the cheap. They don't need to. They got sheds, greenhouses, walkways. Like, this is not good. And she doesn't want it. She doesn't want it. What's the matter?
I just saw Louie and I got excited.
What?
Where she was.
That wasn't Amari?
No.
Here.
Screaming
My
Louie's
day
name.
is shot. I'm a bag of nerves. I'm shaking like a leaf. I'm now looking at a $1,600 to $2,000 bill. I know if I offer to her a $100 a month payment, she's not going to be happy with it. My son's not going to want to pay for it because he feels already ripped off. Right? So I might have to just borrow it on my credit card and
Pay it back.
yeah, well, but you see, even if I give her $2,000 or $1,800 or $1,600 or whatever she wants cash, she's still not going to be satisfied. She's still going to be unhappy, and she'll still find something to accuse me with or whatever, hold against me or whatever. Whatever. It won't matter because that's not what she wants. It's not what she wants, people. So, if I take it for face value,
You know what?
I'm just finishing what I'm talking about here. If I take it... Now what?
Finally?
Oh, you haven't fed him yet?
No. Lord keeps on blowing on me.
Yeah, that's nice. Now, you put
It's
your
good
finger
now.
in it and you feel it. And
It's good now, right?
put your finger, baby finger in it, feel it, and put it in your mouth and swirl it around. And you can feel it's not gritty. It's nice and smooth. He will not gag on that. And it's not thick where it's going to clump up in his throat. That is the texture you want. Yes, oatmeal is kind of hard to deal with,
I don't really like
but
the
it's
taste.
good for him.
Yeah, I don't really like taste though.
Okay, anyway, give it to him. And that wasn't enough, by the way.
Huh?
That was not enough. That's not enough. It should be double the amount.
It's a whole thing.
Anyway,
He said he's gonna get canned soup.
Anyway, taking it for face value, where they're saying that they have absolutely no say in this matter, and that everything that's resulted from the time that city guy showed up was all because of him and nobody else. And they are completely absolved of any instigation, benefit, right? Reward, responsibility, whatever, as a result of that dude showing up. So he wants to evict me. Where does he plan on kicking my ass out to? Does he care? I guess not. It's like Marcane said on the phone today. He doesn't care if you got a disabled child. He doesn't care if you're blind. He doesn't care if there's no place for you to go. He's just doing his job. Okay.
Marcane said that today?
Yeah, basically. Because I told him to tell the city dude, you know, that we'll get out there in the next couple of weeks with Amari, and, you know, we'll just, I don't know, like they want it. I don't know what they want in the wintertime, people. And then when summer comes, it gets too green. This is not the first time I've had to deal with the shit when it's too gray. It's drizzling outside, it's gray, there's a haze, and she's still not happy. Even though more than half the planter pots are gone. And my son moved thousands and thousands and thousands of pounds of water-saturated frozen wood. Not to mention throwing out thousands of dollars worth of my belongings, and that's just the bottom line, including non-profit stuff and children's outside play equipment. I don't even have sticks to grow green beans on, okay? I don't. What does that tell you?
Why did Mrs. Gill say something about a garden?
What?
Why did Mrs. Gill say something about a garden, by the way?
What about the garden?
She said something about like a garden.
Who?
Mrs. Gill.
I didn't hear anything about a garden.
Well, when you were talking about with the wood chips.
We weren't talking about the wood chips.
Well, she said something about the ones out the window.
I don't know. Those will be sprinkled out more around the yard.
Oh yeah, she said the ones by the window look nice. They look good.
What, the wood chips by the window?
Yeah.
The ones that you put?
Yeah.
Oh. She said did she say that to you?
No, she said to you.
Well, I didn't hear that.
Well,
I guess she said that the wood chips that Andre put by the window looked nice. Well, my son is all stressed out because Andre put them there because he wanted to do something else and now he's mad. So, that's what I mean. You can't win for losing, for nothing, for absolutely nothing. Right? I don't know what to say. Just don't know what to say. Just wait for the next attack. Somehow, some way. Because that's the way it seems. That's what my videos show. And now I'm going to be in the hole by another, who knows? Because I honestly, I don't know, people. Can you honestly see my son paying for that and not holding it against my head? And clearly my landlord doesn't want to take any responsibility for anything in this yard. For nothing. Even though it's always been extreme yard maintenance. But you'd have to take it to court to get that brought to the table where she'd have to actually think about it and acknowledge it, because as it is in her mind, she doesn't see it that way. So, nothing I can do about that. So I'm not safe. I told you, I'm not safe. Nobody's safe. Nothing's safe.
Until we move, maybe.
Maybe. If you get the same kind of landlords with the same kind of ideas and same kind of missions in life, no, you won't be safe. You won't be safe.
But if we get different ones, that... Then different things, yeah, I guess, right?
I don't know. Mr. Gill says you like family.
Huh?
Mr. Gill says we're like family. Even Mrs. Gill said that there for a second, but then her business brain kicked in. And I became a burden.
Did they say that today?
Yeah, in between everything else they were saying. Mrs. Gill is the one that's the hardest to please because I don't know what she wants.
Which is one thing out of the way. A big bin, not a mailman, can get through easily.
Yeah, I know that, but that doesn't mean we're out of the woods yet. And it doesn't mean that we're safe. And to borrow money on a credit card, you end up paying more interest. And clearly she doesn't want to pay for it. Even though she said she'd pay a third. So, I guess I'll let you know when I get the bill what she wants from me. And honestly, I don't want my son holding it against me. Because he's already holding what he did against me. And if I could escape, I would, but I can't.